Hey folks, I'm best-selling author of The Power Zero, David McKnight. In today's video, you'll see part 2 of my conversation with financial advisor Scott Nelson, in which we discuss why 95% of all Americans are saving in the wrong retirement accounts. This is the problem with how most Americans have been saving money for retirement. They get a deduction on the front end. They get a deduction while tax rates are historically low, and then they postpone the payment of those taxes until a point in the future when most experts believe that tax rates are likely to be much higher than they are today. And so that made sense back in the 70s when the highest marginal tax bracket was 70%. And a lot of people were getting a deduction at 70% with the idea that they would be in a lower tax bracket down the road. The math there made a whole lot of sense. The problem is now the tables have turned about 180 degrees. We're at historically low tax rates. The highest marginal tax bracket is 37%. Experts are predicting the tax rates could be 70% even 10 years from now. So now the tax rate is, or the tax situation is precisely opposite of what it used to be, but people are still doing the same old paradigm, which is getting a deduction, and they're getting that deduction at historically low tax rates, only to postpone the payment of those taxes till a point in the future when they're likely to be dramatically higher than they are today. And so that we use that analogy of the tax freight train that's bearing down on your retirement plan. And there's a very simple, easy way to avoid having your retirement plan get smashed by that tax freight train. And that's simply to pay a tax today, get those dollars shifted into tax-free accounts. We give you permission to not like it, but the reality is you're paying those taxes while they're on sale. You're getting those dollars shifted safely into tax-free accounts. And you do that before tax rates go up for good, so that by the time tax rates do potentially double over time, you've done all the heavy lifting. You can then take that money out 100% tax-free.
Perfect. I love hearing you tell people what your favorite retirement savings vehicle is. You mind sharing that?
Sure. I generally advocate a very balanced and comprehensive approach to tax-free retirement. I really love to take advantage of every nook and cranny in the IRS tax code. And so I talk about a lot of these different ones. All of these vehicles do things that the other vehicles don't do. So it's important to include all of them as part of your plan. For example, I love the Roth 401k because the Roth 401k can give you a match. None of the other tax-free streams of income allow you to get a match. I love the Roth IRA because it gives you instant liquidity. If you ever needed to get that money out, you could take it out 100% penalty-free and tax-free. I love what we have come to call the life insurance retirement plan because it gives you a death benefit that you can access in advance of your death for the purpose of paying for long-term care. I love that if you can keep your provisional income low enough, and provisional income, by the way, is the income the IRS tracks to determine if they're going to tax your Social Security. If you can keep that provisional income low enough, then your Social Security can be 100% tax-free. There's one stream of tax-free income that a lot of people forget about. And a lot of people don't realize that you can take your RMDs from your IRA, spend those on your lifestyle, and not pay any tax at all. And here's how you do it. You have to make sure that your RMDs are low enough that they're low enough that they don't eclipse your standard deduction. What is your standard deduction? If you were to retire today, it's $29,200. What does that mean? That means that you can experience income from any number of sources up to $29,200 without paying any tax at all. So if you take $29,200 out of your IRA, that's all, and you don't have any other taxable income, that's all 100% tax-free. And that is actually my very favorite stream of tax-free income. Why? Because you got a deduction when you put the money into the IRA. You grew that money tax deferred, and then you took it out tax-free by way of that standard deduction. And that's what I like to call the Holy Grail of financial planning. You get a deduction on the front end, you grow it tax deferred, you take it out tax-free. So there's all these different nooks and crannies in the IRS tax code. And when you use them in tandem with each other, sort of those puzzle pieces come together, and then that 0% tax bracket comes into focus. And I make a big deal. That's, the power zero, how to get to the 0% tax bracket and transform your retirement. That's the subtitle of the book. But I make a big deal about being in the 0% tax bracket because the only way to truly insulate yourself from the impact of rising taxes down the road is to get to the 0% tax bracket. Why? Because if you're in the 0% tax bracket and tax rates double, like a lot of experts are predicting, 2 times 0 is still 0. So the strategy really calls for multiple streams of tax-free income none of which show up on the IRS's radar, but all of which contribute to you being in a tax-free scenario in retirement.
Okay, folks, that was part one of my interview with financial advisor Scott Nelson. In the next 10 years, I'm looking to put 100,000 Americans on the road to the 0% tax bracket. If you would like some help implementing a balanced, comprehensive approach to tax-free retirement that shields you from the impact of higher taxes down the road, head on over to davemcknight.com and click on the Connect with an Advisor button. I'm happy to refer you to an advisor in the Power Zero network that has been trained, vetted, and qualified personally by me. If you're a financial professional and want to learn how to become a certified Power Zero advisor, head on over to powerzero.com and opt into my free video series. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them into the comment section below. I'll respond to every single one of them personally. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a video. This is David McKnight. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.